Hello and welcome to Math 49 Intermediate Algebra. In this video, we're going to go over some of the basic parts of Canvas that you will need and then also take a look at the syllabus. So on the screen here, you can see the kind of landing page for when you first log into Canvas. You're not going to see this pink bar at the bottom. You're seeing that because I'm the teacher and I'm showing the student view. Yours will just not have that pink bar. If you look down the left side, there's main useful things are going to be account, which is how you will log out. Courses will let you switch between the different courses you're in, and those are the main things that you'll need. In order to read and respond to messages, that will be handled through the inbox here. Anything else, and in general in Canvas, if you want to explore, you can explore freely and click on stuff. You won't break anything. So if you feel like looking around, you can do that. Okay, down the next column, there are more buttons. Home takes you to the screen that you're seeing right here. Discussions will be a optional discussion feature that I'll show you here in a minute. People will show you people in the course. Modules takes you also to this home screen. And then anything else here is going to be optional. Software needs, you don't actually need have to have the things that are listed there for this course. Feel free to explore this. You may want to look at the Smart Thinking Online Tutoring or the local student tutoring if you're interested. For our purposes, the thing that you'll mostly need is just right here when you first log in, which is also accessible if you push home or push modules. If you've never used Canvas before, the navigation system, how to use it, the modules, which is what the center panel here is called, are organized in kind of a drop-down menu sort of fashion. To the left, you'll see this little triangle that points to the right. If it's pointing to the right like that, that means that that's a menu that's closed. If I click on that, then you'll get content that drops down below, and you'll see that the triangle is now pointed downward rather than pointing to the right. So in general, if you see throughout Canvas here, if you see a triangle pointing downward, that means that it's a menu that can be collapsed. And if you click on it, that will collapse it. And now the triangle points to the right. Okay, so in here, we'll be looking at the introduction start here. That's the video you're watching right now. We'll be looking at the syllabus here in a minute. My Open Math, this is a link that takes you to the software that we'll use to actually complete the math in this course. MyOpenMathInfo.pdf is a PDF file that shows you how to create the MyOpenMath account. For MyOpenMath, although it is free, you don't have to pay for an access code. You do need a course ID that identifies our class versus some statistics class in Kansas or something. Okay, and that's this MyOpenMath course ID that will identify our particular course. Our textbook is available online. There's a link to it right here. And then we also have a video intro to My Open Math, which will show you the basic features of My Open Math. All of this stuff is accessible under Getting Started, and we'll be looking at the syllabus in a minute. Before I move on, I wanted to point out the graphics to the left of each description text indicate the kind of link that it is, or kind of reference that it is. Here, the introduction start here is a link, which is what looks like a little set of chain there. Things that are links to items external to Canvas look like chain links, and then things that look like paper clips are documents that are going to open. Okay, so just to practice here, under Getting Started, Syllabus and MyOpenMathInfo.pdf are documents that will open. They look like paper clips, and then everything else looks like chain link, and so that's going to be a link to something external to Canvas. Okay, all that's available under Getting Started. Okay, office hours, that needs to be fixed, so ignore that for now. I'll fix that here in a few minutes. And then here under helpful information, there's some handouts you can take a look. A lot of times people have a hard time in math with test anxiety or things of that sort. Some handouts here to help you out. Read through those. Let me know if you find any of that helpful or anti-helpful, and I always appreciate the feedback on those. You can see all those have paper clips, which means those are documents, except for the last two, which are links. The how to make a practice test and how to use a practice test, those are links to videos that help you do those two things. Okay, that's here under helpful information. And then we're going to start seeing lectures populate right here. Right now I have just chapter 3 lectures sitting right here, just so that you can see something for the purposes of this video. But as the semester progresses, we'll see more and more stuff, lectures populating here after helpful information. Okay, so again, the office hours, that will need to be fixed. I'll fix that here in a few minutes, but as you know, the class is online. I'm teaching both online and in person this semester. So I have office hours both online and in person. The online hours are going to be accessible here. Via Zoom, you'll click on this link. The time here is incorrect, so don't make note of that. I'll give you the correct time in a minute. But that's what you'll do, is you'll go here and click on the link under office hours, and it'll take you to my Zoom office hours. So meanwhile, let's go back to getting started and take a look at the syllabus. So if we do that, if you click on the syllabus, you'll get the option to read it within Canvas or download it. I find it easier to read if it's just been downloaded instead of peeking into that tiny little window. So we're going to do that. All right, as I said, this is Math 49, Intermediate Algebra. I'm the instructor, Dan Kleinfelter. I have an email address here as shown. I have an office on the Palm Desert campus in MSTC 246E. I have office hours, and these are correct. Tuesday, Thursday, 11 to 12:30, those are in-person office hours in MSTC 246E. I also have office hours on Zoom, Mondays and Wednesdays from 11 till 12. Those are the hours that I referred to a minute ago on Canvas. But right now the links are incorrect, but I'll fix that by the time you're seeing this. So Monday, Wednesday, 11 to 12 on Zoom, Tuesday, Thursday, 11 to 12:30. You can always email me or send me messages through My Open Math, and you'll learn more about that in the intro to My Open Math video. Okay. You can email me anytime you like. I check my email every day during the week, and then sometimes on the weekends, but you can't really totally count on it, but every day during the week. It'll help if you include our course, which is Math 49, in your email somewhere. If you write to me and say, hi, when's our test? Then I have to write back to you and say, okay, well, which class are you in? Because I'm teaching a couple of different classes. So the more information you can include in your email, the better. Okay, course content, you can read through that. That may or may not mean anything to you. If it doesn't mean a whole lot to you, then that's actually okay. We'll get there by the end. This is, you could think of kind of a second course in algebra. It follows Math 54 at COD. Math 54 was beginning algebra. This course, Math 49, is intermediate algebra. A couple of big differences. In beginning algebra, the only things that we graphed were straight lines. In this class, we'll graph some things that are curved. That's one big difference. We spend more time working on more, basically bigger equations and bigger expressions here, and then also expand to look at a couple of completely different concepts, like the concept of a function, which probably wasn't in your beginning algebra class. This class serves to satisfy the associate degree requirement in math for COD. So if you want to graduate with a 2-year degree from COD, the class you're in will do it. If you're going on to transfer to a 4-year school, then you will need to take one math course beyond this one. Which math course you take is dependent on what your major is. If you have questions about that, then let me know and I can help you with that aspect of it. Okay. If you have in general questions over whether this class is right for you, either in terms of your prior knowledge or just your educational plans, then let me know and I can help you out with that too. Okay, as I'd mentioned, you can email me. I check my email every day in the morning and in the afternoon. Please put your name and email, name and the course in your email. Okay, prerequisite for the course, you should have a C or higher in Math 54 or equivalent. That's beginning algebra. Some advisories or recommendations would be English 61 and Reading 61. Well, we're not going to be reading short stories here and writing essays or anything like that. You do need to be able to read the textbook, read my lecture notes as they're posted in the videos, and also be able to read story problems, and that's basically about it. You should have a good working knowledge of beginning algebra and arithmetic, how to add and subtract fractions, negative times a negative is a positive, how to use the distributive property, how to solve linear equations, all of that good stuff. You should correct gaps in your prerequisite knowledge as they occur. If you find something's coming up in class and you're not understanding it or not remembering it, and it sounds like you already ought to know it, then either get a hold of me or go to tutoring, either in person or virtually with the school, and get that prerequisite knowledge taken care of. Our format for the class is what's called asynchronous, meaning that there are no set meeting times. You don't have to log into Zoom every day at 8 a.m. or something. All of the videos are pre-recorded and posted on Canvas, much like this one was. And you read those, or you watch those and read the textbook and then do the assignments online at your convenience, of course, making sure that you meet deadlines. Okay, the coursework is completed using web-based software called MyOpenMath, which is free. And I'll show you, like I said, in a separate video how that works. The textbook we're using is also free. It's OpenStax Intermediate Algebra, and there's a link to it right here. I have a book printed out. It's pretty thick. It looks like that, pretty big book. But you can get the electronic copy for free. If you want the paper copy, it's totally up to you. It's not free. It's still like $50 or something like that. Better than a regular traditional math book, but still not free. Totally up to you whether you have the paper copy or not. You could also use Intermediate Algebra, the third edition by Sullivan and Stroop. Of course, then it's up. If you use some other book, it's up to you to make sure that the chapters and sections match up. When I refer to chapters and sections in our book, it'll be the OpenStax book. Okay, how grading is done in our course. We'll have 3 exams over the course of this semester. Those are worth 14% of your grade each, making a total of 42%. Homework, which you're doing online, will be 25% of your grade. We'll have quizzes, 5% of your grade. Participation, which is relatively easy to earn, 3% of your grade. And then at the very end of the semester, a comprehensive final worth 25% of your grade. There's no makeups for missed work. If you miss an assignment or a quiz or something, there's no makeups for that. So to make sure to keep track of due dates, you may want to get a calendar just for this class or some sort of way of remembering when due dates are. Exams, those 3 exams will be scheduled in advance. I plan to have them occur Thursday mornings, and I'll give you at least a week's notice that an exam is coming. Typically for each exam, I'll have it open for like a 2 to 4 hour time window, for example, from 8 till noon, let's say, and then you'll have 90 minutes to work on it in that time, not the full 4 hours. That's to give a little bit of flexibility. So you could work on it from 8 until 9:30, or you could work on it from 10 to 11:30. You could start as late as 10:30 and work on it until 12. Note that when you take a test, you have to start and finish it all in the same time. You can't work on it from 8 to 8:30 and then drive to your friend's house and work on it from 10:30 to 12 or something. Okay, so once you start it, you have to finish it. The clock runs as soon as you start it. If you have any questions about the exam format or the time, like you're worried about it being in the mornings or something, then email me or send me a Canvas message and we'll talk about it. Okay, our final exam is on Thursday, May 25th. Again, I will give you a 4 hour time window for that and then 2 hours to complete the exam. Since our final exam will be comprehensive, you'll get a little longer for that test in comparison to the regular tests. As I mentioned, there's no makeups on missed work. Also, no exams can be taken early or late. If you miss one of those first 3 exams, I can replace that exam score with whatever you earn on the final. But you'll want to send me an email or Canvas message or my OpenMath message before the missed exam. Only one exam score can be replaced in this way, so you want to make sure you don't miss 2 exams or more. Don't miss deadlines. You're responsible for keeping track of due dates. Your grade in the course is combined by the pretty standard overall percentage, 90 for an A, 80 for a B, and so on. COD doesn't do plus minus grading. It's just A's, B's, C's, D's, and F's. And so that's how it breaks down. As I'd mentioned, homework will be done on my OpenMath. We'll see more of that in a different video. Calculators, you're going to eventually need a scientific calculator. You won't need one for the first few weeks. I may prohibit the use of calculators on some exams. You can't use a graphing calculator and you can't use your phone. Okay. Attendance. Your attendance isn't used in computing your grade. Students who attend class tend to do better and get a higher grade. Here, of course, our class is online. So what am I talking about with attendance? By attendance here, I mean logging into Canvas, watching the videos, reading any kind of announcements, getting on My Open Math and doing work, homework and quizzes and so forth. Participating in the class in general is what I would count as attendance. People who log in regularly and keep up with the work, of course, I think tend to do better in the class and get a higher grade than people who don't. I may drop you from the class if you don't do work in My Open Math for 4 or more consecutive days without contacting me. If you have some sort of issue that is going to make it so that you can't do work for a length of time, then just be in touch with me and let me know and we'll figure something out. The thing is that often with an online class, people will sign up for it with good intentions and then their life gets busy and then they put this class on the back burner and just kind of forget about it and disappear. And then if they disappear and then May comes around, I have to give them a grade. And if they haven't done anything in the class for 3 months, then the grade's not going to be very good. So this is a way to help save those people who just kind of flake out on the course. So if you want to drop the class, you should drop it. If you have something come up that makes it so that you can't work on it for some reason for a while, then let me know so that I won't drop you. Okay, classroom conduct. Basically, you, of course, have to abide by the student code of conduct in the college catalog. Other than that, we don't really have meetings. So be honest and civil and courteous to one another. So where we post on discussion boards, which I should show you, you want to be polite and use work or school appropriate language. If multiple people are attending my office hours, we're going to take turns asking and answering questions. So this should be pretty much common sense. I will show you the discussion thing in a minute. I had forgotten to do that before. Students with disabilities, read through the paragraph there and let me know if that applies to you. And also contact DSPS as soon as possible. Academic integrity, basically don't cheat in this class. There's no extra credit in the course. You want to do your best the first time. With math, it's very easy to get behind and hard to catch up. Try to stay on top of things as much as you possibly can. There isn't extra credit, so you want to try and do as well as you can from the beginning. We're almost there, okay? Many people find math challenging. There's a variety of reasons for that. There's new terminology. Wording for math is really specific. There's not a lot of, well, you knew what I meant kind of thing in math. It's very precise language. Word problems, a lot of times people don't like word problems. So there's a variety of reasons where people can find math hard. So here's some advice to help that be a little better for you. As I'd mentioned, log into Canvas and My Open Math, work on those every day. You should work on math even on days when you don't have class. Of course, it's easy for me to say and hard to do, right? I'm not you. I don't have your job and your family and whatever other commitments you may have. But the point there is, if you have a certain amount of hours per week to spend on this class, you're going to be better off if you distribute those throughout the week. If you ignore this class on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then do a whole bunch Thursday and Friday, it's going to be harder on you than if you do a little bit every day. It's easier easier to understand the math if you're not trying to pile it all into your brain all at once. It's easy just to get fatigued if you're trying to do a whole bunch of one thing all at once, okay, especially if it's not necessarily your favorite subject. Okay. Work on maintaining a positive attitude. Math in this class may not be your favorite subject in the whole world, but that's okay. You're doing, at the minimum, you're doing something positive for your future and doing something good to improve yourself in some way. And so look on the bright side, as it were. So try to maintain a positive attitude as much as possible. That will help. I plan for you to read the book, either the physical paper copy of the book or the electronic one, doesn't matter. Read the appropriate sections before watching the videos and trying the assignments. That's going to make the assignments easier. Okay, most of this you can read on your own. Math takes practice. You have to practice the problems yourself in order to get good at it. How much practice you need depends on the individual, just natural ability. It depends on what your last math class was and when. If your last math class was 7 years ago in high school and you just kind of got a Mercy C out of it and graduated, then that's totally different than somebody who got like an A in Math 54 like last semester, right? So it depends. The point there is, though, if you're not getting the grade you want, you might want to try allocating some more time and practice to it. Okay. Okay, that's mostly stuff you could just read. Student learning outcomes, that's supposed to be the everyday, more or less plain English explanation of the coverage of our course. So I'll leave it to you to read that. Okay, so we are done with the syllabus. As I'd mentioned, that's available, of course, on Canvas right here. Right under the introduction start here video. I'd mentioned in the syllabus discussions, that's available here on the left or in the middle column really, under home where it says discussions here. This is not a required element for the course. It's just optional if you feel like doing it. I've put a discussion board for if you have questions from chapter 1, which is where we'll be starting. If you wish to introduce yourself to your peers and me, you can do that, but you don't have to. Notes from office hours. If I have people show up to my office hours online, I'll save the notes and post them here, and that way other people can benefit. That's what I meant by the discussions earlier. But like I said, that's an optional element to the course. It's not required. All right, so that takes us to the end of this video. We've gone over the basics of working with Canvas and the most important features you're going to need for the course, and then we looked at the syllabus. Your next steps will be to watch the introduction to My Open Math video and then work on setting up that My Open Math account. In the meantime, let me know if you have any questions, and welcome to the class, and have a great day.